Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edward Albert Skinner. I was born May 10th, 1841, in Aurora, New York. My father, Reverend Levi Skinner, was a First Presbyterian minister, and after several years of preaching to his beloved congregation, he lost his voice from speaking too loudly from the pulpit. So unfortunately, he was compelled to retire earlier than expected. After much thought, he decided to move our family to Westfield, New York in 1854, when I was just 12 years old. After 10 years of hard work, he became a stockholder and director of the First National Bank of Westfield. He was eventually elected president of the First National Bank of Westfield until his death. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I'm telling you so much about my father's career. My father was a successful banker, which influenced me as I became an adult. When we moved to Westfield, I attended Westfield Academy and completed my education there. When I was 16 years of age, I became a bookkeeper at the Bank of Westfield. I was employed there for 2 years until I found a new opportunity in mercantile business until 1861, when I enlisted in the Civil War with Company G, 9th New York Cavalry. I had served as second lieutenant for several months. I was promoted to first lieutenant, and shortly afterwards was commissioned regimental quartermaster, which was the position I held for the next 2.5 years. I was acting as brigade quartermaster much of the time. At the end of the Civil War, I was discharged due to an injury and was sent back here to Westfield. I was hired at the First National Bank of Westfield as assistant cashier. I enjoyed that job very much. I was employed in that position until 1870. At that time, I was asked to travel to Ottawa, Kansas to help organize the First National Bank of Ottawa, which still bears my name to this day. I returned from Ottawa after my job had completed and was elected vice president of the National Bank of Westfield and held that job for 11 years. When my father passed away, I was then elected to take his position as the president of the First National Bank of Westfield. A well-established and well-conducted bank is a marked feature of progress in any community, and I am proud to say the First National Bank of Westfield has been so conducted that it has always commanded public confidence. Later in my years, I was involved in politics and was town supervisor of Westfield for several years. I also served as the treasurer of the Supreme Council of the Royal Arcanum. The Royal Arcanum offered insurance and annuities that protected your family while making an impact in the community. Our profits went back into your neighborhood through college scholarships and charitable activities, not into stock price. Now you must be thinking, is that all that man does, his work? It was not all business and no pleasure. In 1864, I married my first wife, Frances M. Barger. We were partners for not quite 10 years until her death in 1872. A couple of years later, I married Augusta Wheeler, who was the daughter of the Honorable William F. Wheeler and the president of the First National Bank of Olean, New York. I had 3 beautiful children, Flora, Egbert, and Frances. After a brief illness, I passed away in 1912 at the age of 71. I had a very joyful and successful life. I am so grateful that I was able to share my story with you. It has been lovely visiting with you all this evening. Thank you.